Jordan Schultz, Fox Sports NFL insider, on what he sees with Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, easily one of the most intriguing draft prospects in recent memory due to his two-way ability. Now, Hunter has met with many teams in the lead up to the draft, Colin, all of which haven't had any issues with him playing on both sides of the ball. However, Hunter made it very clear that if a team did tell him to pick just one position, he said he'd rather, quote, never play football again. Now, I think the NFL is looking at this wrong. I think Travis Hunter is Shohei Ohtani. If I told you, Colin, you could have Shohei Ohtani, would you be interested in him? Yes, Travis Hunter, he played 753 snaps on offense, 87%, and over 83% on defense. He can do it. Now, I don't know if that means he can do both all the time, but the fact that he is so smart, so gifted, and so special, and the fact that, this is key, Dion already said, the time in between plays isn't really an issue, and you get more time, 36 seconds in the NFL compared to 32 in college. He'll have more time to adjust. I just think Travis Hunter, if we're really looking at him as a generational prospect, which he is on both sides of the ball, then not only should he be in contention to be the number one overall pick, but we should be looking at him like a future All-Pro.
Tom, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but Shohei Ohtani had Tommy John surgery. So, let's keep in mind he hasn't pitched because he had Tommy John surgery. And I don't doubt that he can do it. There's two things. The pace of play, that doesn't concern me. Physicality of play concerns me. And if I was this kid's agent, I'd ask him this: how long do you want to play? 4 years? Because you're cramming 8 years of snaps into 4 years if you're playing on both sides of the football. And oh, by the way, it's much, much, much more physical once you hit the NFL. Those are grown men playing for their livelihood. So exactly. I try to extend that out and try to get a second and third contract as opposed to playing 800 snaps, if I'm playing, or 1,600 snaps if I'm playing both sides of the ball.
Right. I think that's a great point, Dave. Also, he answered a question this week, right, which was, whether or not he can do it both ways. And then he makes the headline grabbing comment that I'll quit football. Okay, Travis, let's settle down for a second here. You don't take the kid because he can play both sides of the ball. You take him because you believe that he is either the best wide receiver in the draft or the best cornerback in the draft. And then the bonus is that you can put him on the other side of the ball in a package. And I'm with you, Dave. I think this all sounds really sexy. Obviously, it's going to create a lot of buzz. Obviously, people are comparing him to Shohei Ohtani already, which is, oh, by the way, let's slow that roll as well. But, I think you take this kid because you need a playmaker. I know the Browns like this kid a lot. They see him as a full-time wide receiver and then potentially somebody they could use in packages on defense. And I'm with you 100%. I don't think physically he's going to be able to stand up and do this for very long. And listen, this all sounds great leading into the draft. You get him out there on the practice field. You see that maybe he's not necessarily the defensive back that you thought he was. That's not to say that he's not a great athlete, but you also see there's other great athletes in this league that are not playing both ways. I don't see the Minnesota Vikings playing Justin Jefferson on both sides of the ball, and I promise you that he could do it. There's also the situation where you're in a game, you're playing how many snaps on offense. Suddenly you're on defense. You're being forced to come up and you're going to have to come up and tackle Najee Harris or somebody on the corner. Suddenly you're going to put him at unbelievable risk. I'm with you. And in terms of a longevity standpoint, it's going to come to a point where he's probably going to have to make a decision, or his team and he are going to have to come to some kind of a compromise. Look, this is what you are. This is what you do best. Let's roll from there. If we can get you in on a couple nickel packages now and again, we'll do so. But again, you don't take this kid just because he can play both ways.